Welcome back. Now, it is a topic that unfortunately does not get talked about enough. That is exactly why, with September being National Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, we are opening up the lines of communication. We can all be a part of reaching the goal of reducing the annual suicide rate by 20% by 2025. Let's learn how from Tom Baca and Tracy Raleigh. Thank you guys both so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. We're very excited to be here today.
I really do mean this is a subject that we don't talk about enough. I definitely think I want to open up the lines of communication, talk about it here, but I also want to talk about what the foundation does and who you guys really are.
Yeah, the foundation is a national organization that really is dedicated to suicide prevention, but also support for those that have been affected by suicide. So all the funds that we raise throughout the country, and in particular with our local walk, will stay locally to support those efforts.
And why do you guys think it is so important that we bring awareness, or that we're talking about it, or that we're raising awareness and funds for it?
You know, the numbers of people who commit suicide in our country is shocking. It's almost 43,000 people a year die by suicide, 117 people a day in our country. 22 veterans a day commit suicide. We are all in some way going to be affected by suicide, whether it's a family member such as Tom and myself, or someone we work with, or someone that we know. We will all be touched in some way by suicide, and the numbers show it. It's an epidemic in our country. You know, it's the second leading cause of death for people 15 to 34, and it's the third leading cause of death for kids from 10 to 14.
Wow.
So it's an epidemic in our country, and we need to bring awareness to this.
And I think that this is exactly how we do it. We get a conversation starting. We make sure that people at home are hearing, you know, these things that we're talking about, and then we get them out. So of course we have a walk that's coming up. One, I think it's going to be great for education. Two, I also think it's going to be great, like we said, for those funds to continue the awareness. Tell me about the walk, what's going to happen, and where those funds are going to be going.
So the walk is coming up September 25th. It's a Sunday, and we expect over 1,000 walkers to come out, whether they're coming to support or to remember loved ones. And it's really a great time to come together as a community. And really what we're going to do with the funds, as I mentioned, they'll stay local.
Yep.
They're going to help support education efforts. There's a program that AFSP, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, does, which is called Talk Saves Lives. And it's really trying to overcome that stigma about talking about suicide, approaching someone who might be having issues and maybe thinking about suicide. So having that education process reach our young people in particular, like Tracy talked about, is going to be really important. And we want to be able to support that through the financial work that we do in raising funds through the Out of the Darkness Walk.
You know, I want us to really kind of hit on that right now. If there is somebody that maybe is concerned about someone in their life, or if somebody is listening right now, watching us, and they themselves maybe are having thoughts of suicide, what should we do? Let's take this moment to really maybe touch someone.
You know, that's an excellent question. There are a lot of resources online. There are classes that occur that you can take to learn how to talk to people who might be suicidal. And then there's the suicidal prevention lines where people can call. So there's a lot of resources for people out there, but you know, studies have shown that most people never reach out. They never get the help that they need, and then people don't know that people are feeling suicidal. And so I think just being aware of it and knowing the signs to look for, and then when people are feeling that way, knowing that there is help for them out there. I also think I'm a facilitator for a suicide survivors group, and there's a lot of groups out there in Tucson for people who are going through the grief that accompanies losing a loved one to suicide, and so that for people to know that there are support groups out there so that they're not alone as they're going through this.
I think not feeling alone part is a great way to kind of really push right now that we have this opportunity.
Yes.
Now, of course, we have the walk, we have all of these resources. Is there anything else that somebody at home can get involved right here locally that we can help this effort?
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways people can get involved in addition to the walk. You know, as I mentioned, a lot of what the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention does is provide people a way to get through whatever issue, challenge that they may have had due to suicide. Some of these things that we have here on table, these magnetic items, they were actually done as a craft project by a suicide survivor in memory of a loved one. And excuse me, and she just wanted to have that outlet for her grief and do something positive. She's donated probably dozens, if not hundreds, of these items that she's created for us to be able to sell at the walk as part of the fundraising effort. So a lot of good things, but in addition, you know, people can become trained to help with the education programs that American Foundation for Suicide Prevention does as well. So go online, afsp.org, and really see what is available for options to get involved.
I want to thank you both for coming, Tracy. I
Thank
know
you.
I could see the emotions in while we're talking. I want to leave everybody with the you're not alone. I think that was
Right.
the best thing that we're going to take away from this, but I'm going to remind them about that walk. So thank you guys one more
thank
time.
you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
very much.
Absolutely. Tucson's Out of the Darkness Walk will take place September 25th at Reed Park. Check-in is at 8 a.m. and the walk starts at 10. For more details, call 480-305-4900 or log on to afsp.org/Tucson.